Once again, welcome to Wellness and Wisdom Podcast. Maybe this is your first time listening to this podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about different issues concerning health, business, religion, and of course, agriculture. In today's podcast, we want to talk about farming for the future in agriculture sector. And most we want to focus on the strategies for climate resilient in agriculture. Remember, you are with me, Rahab Gogo, and have a guest today where we want to talk about this topic. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Maybe may people know you.
Well, I am Peter Idana,
Mm,
and I am a farmer
mm,
here in Sochi, and also some other areas here in Blantyre.
mm.
So um, I'm in Cheka. Also there, I also do my farming, and also in Zomba.
Mm,
Yeah. So my home district.
yeah,
There also I also do some farming.
yeah.
So I can say in three, I think here in Blantyre and also in Zomba.
In today's podcast, we want to explore how farmers can adapt to climate change and ensure sustainable food production, and maybe not just farmers, but also our listeners who are listening to this program. So maybe first of all, we want to talk about this farming for the future. Maybe our listeners should have the mind of how they can maybe relate climate change resilient in agriculture. So maybe let's start with you. How do you prepare for extreme weather events?
Well, mm, um, you know, we have to we have social media nowadays,
Hmm.
and also we have different platforms whereby we get news
Yeah.
because you can't foretell, but there are some people
Hmm.
who are well specialists in these things.
Hmm.
They know how they have mastered weather, and uh, through their experience they're able to foretell the upcoming events. So in agriculture we have weather forecast.
Hmm.
So through weather forecast, I used to get more information
Hmm.
about weather, how weather is going to change.
Hmm.
So I listen to these forecasts time and time again so that I can see and also prepare.
Hmm.
uh, Me as a farmer,
Hmm.
how can I prepare for my next events in
Hmm.
my farms? And if I hear that there's going to be harsh weather this year, um, maybe the season we have entered, there's gonna be much drought. There's gonna be
Hmm.
a lot of a lot of sun. So I know, and uh, it's when I plan
Yeah.
so that I can so that so that at the end of the day I can improve my farming. So weather forecast is very important.
Hmm.
Listening weather forecast, uh, and also checking uh, on your own.
Yeah.
Let's say there are some areas
Hmm.
here in Blantyre, and I don't know other district, but here in Blantyre where I am, I am closer to mountainside, so
Yeah.
we have an advantage that rain can come.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can we can have much shortage of rain. No, so the rain can be there, but not as uh, scarce as we think. So I can
Hmm.
have an added advantage to
Yeah.
that. So with my own information and also weather forecast, I can tell that I think this year the weather is gonna be like this.
Yeah.
So I use weather forecast for me to get information
Hmm.
for weather.
So nowadays it seems that climate change has impacted the agriculture sector. So maybe what can be some of the challenges maybe you are facing and other listeners also might face or they are facing concerning on the farm? Maybe we can talk about their produce,
Mm.
how it has been impacted by the climate change.
Well, climate change, I can say it's not here only here in Malawi,
Mm.
but also we have been hearing news, we've been watching. and we have been watching it in TVs that there are some also some other countries that have been also experiencing this climate change.
Yeah.
This climate change. So we can say uh, that climate change has not only affected one country but also other countries.
Mm.
So working on the climate change, we have been facing a lot of challenges. Uh, for me, I can say change of weather.
Mm.
It has affected us a lot in terms of also if in terms of our produce in our farms. Because you see there's no much rain, you
Yeah.
see plant can fail
Yeah.
likely. So for someone who has not prepared, uh, how that situation he can handle, at the end of the day, their produce can be affected.
Mm.
To someone who has not adapted to new technologies like irrigation,
Mm.
doing irrigation, so he can be affected at the end of
Mm.
the day. So the challenges are there that uh, due to shortage of rain,
Mm.
the rivers are dry,
Yeah.
so it has affected us a lot in
Yeah.
terms of our produce. But at the end of the day, those who are clever, those who are they know how to survive
Mm.
or how they can do to improve their farming. They have their own I can say reservoirs.
Mm.
Yeah, they have, because when it's rain season,
Mm.
it's also important to store water. Yeah.
So maybe to do with the climate change, have you ever thought of maybe growing any climate resilient crops in your farm,
Yeah, yeah, I've done
maybe to
that.
ensure food sufficient?
Yes, exactly. And it's very important
Yeah.
not only to cling on one crop,
Yeah.
but it's also important to change.
Yeah.
Changing, harvesting or planting the crops that are resilient to weather
Yeah.
is very important,
Mm.
because it gives you 100% chance that this plant cannot fail, since
Mm.
it can be able to withstand with any weather.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, we can grow like things like peas.
Yeah.
Peas, some people they can use peas,
Mm.
wheat, so many things that they can use.
Mm.
Things are crops that they can that suits their environment in
Mm.
their districts that they
Mm.
use. But as for me, I go for peas, because
Mm.
these peas, so at the end of the day, if you can grow peas, it can you can make a lot of profit at the end.
Mm.
So I've tried peas,
Yeah.
those crops that are resilient.
Mm.
Unlike maize can also be difficult, of course.
Mm.
It can be uh, you can be able to withstand some harsh weathers, but at the end of the day,
Mm.
still maize needs rain,
Mm.
much rain. I think so. Also, I can say growing resilient crops
Mm.
has to do also with if we if your farm
Mm.
has got a different type of soil. So it's very that's very important also to consider,
Mm.
because the soil has got ability to hold much water.
Yeah.
So having areas having maybe soil like clay
Mm.
or loam soil or sandy soil.
Yeah.
So areas having sandy soil, I can say they can't grow even maize or
Mm.
even, or the only crop that maybe they can survive, they can manage to grow there is I think peas.
Mm.
That I can recommend that it can survive for, because sandy soil cannot hold water for a long period of time.
Mm.
So, but the areas that the soil, the type of soil that they're having is loam. I
Mm.
can recommend. I think loam is a moderate. It can keep water for some time, because rather than sand soil that
Mm.
it can retain much water.
Yeah.
So loam soil, I can say that is good. So when you have problems with rain, that means if your soil is
Mm.
sandy in type, then you don't even go to maize.
Yeah.
I would advise that you should go for peas.
Mm.
At least you can, so that you cannot lose at the end. So you can't waste all your effort at the end of the day harvesting nothing. You see,
Yeah.
so you have to consider these types of soil:
Hmm.
loam soil and also sandy soil. I mean, clay soil. That's the hard soil that is able to hold much water.
Yeah. So
So that's it.
you have talked about stereotype. So like stereotype, you said
Mm.
about loam, clay, or whatsoever. So does it mean that soil health plays also a big role when you are looking for like crops you want to grow for resilient in during the climate change? Should we say that soil health also plays a big role?
Yes, exactly. And that's the most important thing that a master must that a farmer
Mm,
must consider at first before
mm,
he or she grows any crop.
mm,
So determining a soil type also,
mm,
it, of course, there are some station that they use to what, if you don't know how to determine a soil type,
mm.
there are some station, let's say today's station,
Yeah,
there's some also as other station.
yeah,
So they say that if you have having difficulties, if you want to know the type of soil, if you want to investigate your soil type
mm,
in your farm,
mm,
you can just take a sample of it,
mm.
and then you go, and then so that you can have to have it tested.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they will tell you information that you need to know all about that soil, and they will also encourage, or they will also tell you that I think, depending on your soil type, you have to plant these crops, because if you don't follow that, at the end of the day,
mm,
you will lose.
yeah,
Because if you take a sand soil to plant to grow maize,
yeah,
likely if there will not be more rain, I'm
mm,
telling you that at the end you get devastated,
yeah,
because you want harvest rather
mm,
anything from that farm.
yeah,
So it's very important, it's very vital to know the type of soil and the best crops that are they are suitable for that soil, particular soil, because clay soil is the best crops that they use to grow in clay soil is
yeah,
most especially it's rice.
mm,
So rice, you can talk of beans.
mm,
So those soil that they're found in the most of the dampers. So that type of soil
mm,
that is mainly to plant rice,
yeah,
because when it hold water, it has ability to keep that water
mm,
for a long period of time.
yeah,
So at the end of the day, with that information, you can decide that I think with this type of soil, I think I can grow this type of crop in my farm.
yeah.
So, yeah, sure.
And I'm curious to know about something because you are here today because you are one of the farmer adapting to climate change. So
Mm.
maybe can you share your success story about adapting the climate change? Like maybe you have something you have planted on your farm because of
Mm.
the climate change, and
Mm.
you your produce are just more.
Yeah. Using this wisdom, applying all the necessary uh, things that I have to do in my farm,
Mm,
it has helped me a lot, because I have I've been adopting this. I've been adopting, and I've been following the
mm,
weather forecast,
yeah,
and at the end of the day, it has helped me a lot,
yeah,
because when you are aware that this year uh, there's gonna be like rain is gonna fall in short amounts,
mm,
then you plan. You said, I think with this information,
mm,
I can also prepare, let's say, for irrigation.
mm,
I can just buy some I mean, I can just buy some farm implements that I can use during that drought period, in
yeah,
order to when I see that I think it has a week has gone without rain falling, so then I can just shift to irrigation, so that when rain comes again, then it will continue the process.
yeah,
So with that knowledge, it has helped me to say to grow and to produce abundant yields at the end,
yeah,
because yeah, uh, it's about being clever in what you are doing in your farm,
mm,
because you can have all the necessary things like fertilizers, everything in your farm. But when you have when rain has just fall in small amounts, at the end you get frustrated.
Mm.
So it's for you farmer, is your cleverness that I think with this information, I
Mm.
think venturing into irrigation will
Mm.
help me to replace that time that rain hasn't fallen.
Mm.
So you will replace it with your irrigation. You will get your crops.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, still the crops will be surviving with that water.
Mm.
Yeah, so it has helped me in that way.
Yeah. So maybe what are some friendly farming practices you have adopted because of climate change?
Yeah, some practices that I so far adopted. I like
Yeah.
crop rotation.
Mm.
Crop rotation is one of the best
Mm.
practice
Mm.
in agriculture that
Yes.
most farmers use.
Yeah.
Because with crop rotation,
Mm.
uh, using planting different crops
Mm.
in a farm,
Yeah.
rotating them,
Mm.
it helps like to bind the soil. It also
Yeah.
it adds soil fertility.
Mm.
It also reduces soil erosion.
Mm.
It also reduces pests and diseases
Mm.
in the same farm.
Mm.
Because let's say you have demarcated an area
Yeah.
that I think this area I will
Mm.
plant grass. I think that area I'll plant maize,
Mm.
and the other area
Mm.
I will plant also another crop.
Mm.
So when you are rotating,
Yeah.
so that means the 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 other ear you will rotate
Mm.
the you rotate like the place the area where you have you plant groundnuts, you have
Yeah.
planted now maize.
Yeah.
That means you have it's like you have broke a certain pest cycle process.
Yeah.
So with those uh, with that information, you can, at the end of the day, you can it can help you to grow maize
Mm.
more abundant than the other year. Because
Mm.
with
Yeah.
groundnuts helps to bind, it adds like nitrogen in the soil.
Yeah.
So nitrogen at the end it will like add more nutrients, so humus will be released at the end of the day. So that means when you plant that where you grow
Mm.
groundnuts, you have planted now maize.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that maize will do much better than
Mm.
the other year, since they are the nutrients are there
Mm.
and they're still there. So the crop will make use of that nutrients
Yeah.
for the whole season.
Yeah.
So crop rotation is one of them.
Yeah.
And also adopting agroforestry.
Yeah.
Agroforestry is also one of the important practice.
Mm.
So agroforestry, it can help you to is to someone who has no idea of what the agroforestry is. Agroforestry is a type of farming whereby you grow trees, you integrate trees together with crops in the same farm. So when you grow types of there's specific type of crops that they release nutrients to the crops. So when it's harsh weather, so those crops will, let's say, will block, it will be they'll be acting like a windbreak. Because when there is a windbreak and those trees are there, they will protect the crops to cover. It will be like the covering for those crops. At the same time, the leaves, when falling, they'll be supplying all the necessary nutrients to the to the crops in the farm. So agroforestry is also one of the best. And also um,
Mm.
yeah, I think one also can opt to do maybe mixed cropping. Also it
Mm.
helps also, because uh I mean I think the other best farming practices are,
Mm.
some people they use a no-till. No-till is whereby you leave a farm for a certain long period of time without it being cultivated. So when you are coming back to that farm, you find that all the necessary nutrients has been also recovered,
Yeah.
since you have left that farm for almost, maybe let's say you have left that farm for 3 years,
Yeah.
and then you are coming back. At the end of the day, when you are planting again, you expect that you grow abundant yields at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because you have followed a certain a practice of agriculture.
Hmm.
So those are the basic practice of agriculture that I can recommend.
And maybe should we say that climate change has an effect on pollinators, the insects maybe that take, we say, pollen grains like from other crop to other crops,
Mm,
and
mm.
maybe has it impacted that pollinators?
Yes, 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 exactly. All right.
Mm.
When it comes to that, due to wind, transfer of pollen grain to the other crops.
Yeah.
So, okay, to someone who has adopted to do crop rotation,
Mm.
that cannot be an I think that cannot be an effect to that.
Yeah.
And also to someone who has adopted a agroforestry,
Yeah.
that that impact cannot be there, since there are trees there
Mm.
to break any it's like they are the wind breakers.
Mm.
So those trees, they'll be there to protect. So once it's
Yeah.
windy day, that means that the transfer of pollen grain will not be an effect at all
Mm.
to even to transfer pollen to the other crops, since it will be like the trees will be disturbances. So at the end of the day, you have prevented pollen to be transferred to the other. If you want to grow one type of maize,
Yeah.
and you don't want to other type of maize to be affected,
Yeah.
so I think you can recommend that.
Yeah. So maybe have you ever thought of engaging your community in climate resilient efforts? Maybe your community, like maybe not just you as a farm on your own,
Mm.
maybe to be making profits, like to have food sufficient in your in your farm and your house. Maybe have you ever thought of engaging others?
Yeah, of course, as a farmer, I
Mm.
cannot you know I have some information, and
Mm.
there are some also farmers, a lot of
Mm.
farmers that also they have different information, and also
Mm.
they have different knowledges in terms of farming.
Yeah.
So for me to get another extra knowledge
Yeah.
in order to improve my farming uh, ways in my farm, so I think it's very important.
Mm.
And also I have some of my friends who are also farmers. We used to meet and we used to discuss some of the challenges, and also we share ideas, uh, and we share experiences in terms of farming activities.
Mm.
So with so far we have a group, like I say, cooperatives,
Yeah.
where we used to we share different knowledge in terms of farm in our farms.
Mm.
So we get different knowledges. So at the end of the day,
Mm.
in our cooperatives,
Yeah.
someone who has been facing difficulties, challenges
Mm.
in their farms, at the end of the day, they will benefit something. They'll get an idea. At the end of the day, if we that one applies that idea in our farms,
Yeah.
uh a change is there. So we have that cooperatives, we share ideas, and also we get help. And also that also some we invite some we also used to have trips whereby we go to visit our friends,
Yeah.
maybe in different areas.
Mm.
We go maybe we can plan to go to maybe to another district, to say that we want to meet our fellow farmers,
Mm.
so that we can also hear their experiences in terms of how they have been productive in terms of in their farming systems.
Yeah.
So with uh with those trips,
Mm.
we get also knowledge. At the end of the day, we at the end of the day, we are helped
Hmm.
in terms of our knowledge
Yeah.
in the farming systems.
Yeah, maybe our listeners can be like, maybe what the smartest way you use to conserve water during this climate change season.
Well, uh, I think
Hmm.
the best way uh, to preserve water is to store them. Once water is abundant during
Hmm.
rain season, once rain is abundant,
Hmm.
the only way if a one can conserve water
Yeah.
is where constructing a reservoir. A
Yeah.
reservoir is I can say it can be a dam.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can recommend the dam because dam
Hmm.
you can construct a dam,
Yeah.
and there in the dam you transfer
Hmm.
water, maybe from a river at the and after transferring it to the dam,
Hmm.
you'll be like harvesting that water,
Yeah.
harvesting that water, and in that reserve also you can also uh, put some maybe you can also
Hmm.
uh, maybe you can choose, maybe you can take some fishes and you can put in that reservoir. At the end of the day, you are, yeah, like, it's like you are killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
So you are, at the same time you are doing fishing,
Hmm.
at the same time also you are reserving water for the next
Hmm.
preparing for drought. So dams can be there,
Yeah.
and also some people they use tanks,
Hmm.
but tanks, they can't, even you can't have that mega tank to store water
Yeah.
for you to irrigate the whole season. It's impossible because the farming it's only for 3 months,
Hmm.
so you can't have that tank that can store water and irrigating daily on a daily basis for 3 months. It can't be possible. But
Hmm.
the only way I think I can recommend is dams, use of dams to preserve water. You can construct so many dams as possible to
Hmm.
store water. Then also there are some people they used to construct a small lake. So in that lake
Yeah.
also you can store water. So you can transfer them. If you are near to rivers, you can also transfer them to those reservoirs.
Hmm.
Once they are full, you close them so that those water that water can be kept for that season and be used for the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe lastly, what message would you like to give to our listeners or maybe farmers about climate resilience and what can they do maybe?
All right. I would like to encourage farmers that if you haven't the if you are not following and like uh, like I said at the first, there is a weather forecast.
Yeah.
If you have no, if you are not exposed
Hmm.
to this information, then likely you are going to face challenges in your farm.
Yeah.
So I can encourage you to say that you have to find a means
Hmm.
for you to hear news uh, for weather forecast
Yeah.
that can help you to improve and also to plan
Hmm.
uh, in your farm that I think because of this news I have to do this, I have to
Hmm.
do this. So that news will help you to prepare before, or prepare in advance before
Hmm.
that season.
Yeah.
So once that weather comes, then you know what to do that time, since you have already prepared.
Yeah.
So the examples I've already given out to say, you can plan to store water.
Hmm.
Also you can go for irrigating crops
Yeah.
when maybe a rain hasn't fallen for 2 weeks. You can change,
Hmm.
you can start irrigating those crops. So if someone hasn't prepared for this, that
Hmm.
means that whole period, 2 weeks,
Hmm.
that that means you can change it to irrigation system. So for someone who hasn't prepared, that means likely for 2 weeks plants cannot survive for as long as that period, long period, without being without water. So that likely plants will die.
Hmm.
So maize can't hold maize, depending on type of soil. Also maize can't hold can't be able to absorb more water from soils like clay soil, I
Yeah.
mean sand soil.
Hmm.
But when you have discovered the type of soil
Hmm.
you have in your area, that's the base. Also, you can also know the type of crops that you can use to grow in your area. So with weather forecast,
Yeah.
and also this and also with knowledge of soil type,
Mm.
and also growing resilient crops, this information, once you have known them, it will help you to boost your agriculture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my encouragement to my fellow farmers.
And reaching this far, thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Until next time, may you cultivate wisdom, nurture your spirit, and harvest abundance in all aspects of your life.